Hey guys, New Jersey Piper Ben here. On a crisp, cold day on my front porch, I am having some GLP's quiet nights in my Savinelli Flaminia 116 king size. One of my many Savinelli billiards that I quite enjoy. Smoking a lovely English blend tobacco. So this thing popped up on my Facebook feed, and it's a constant debate that I see. That most recent example that God shared on Facebook. I don't know if you guys follow God on Facebook, but I like his page quite a bit. And seeing on Travel Magazine posts and this and that, and it's the debate on whether or not it's okay to recline your seat in your airplane. And I like this debate because I can see both sides so clear, and I agree with points on both sides. It's one of those few debates where it's kind of really hard for me to pick a side, and so because of that, and the more I think about it, my answer is like just basically filtering to it's not okay, but it is okay. It depends on the circumstances. But there was a video that came out again. It was on Facebook where this lady was in the next to last row, and she reclined her seat. And as you know, if anybody's ever sat in the last row, actually sat in the last row a couple of days ago, but I did that intentionally to try to avoid having somebody beside me. Didn't work, but anyway, I was on the last row. But you can't recline your seat in the last row because you're literally up against the wall, and airlines cram as many seats as they can on a plane because they're obviously trying to cut as much cost out of the process as possible. So this lady reclined her seat, and the guy behind her, he looked like he was a fairly tall guy, but he just starts punching the back of her seat repeatedly, like not like wailing at it or anything, or like trying to like do any significant damage, but just trying to move it enough to so that she's got some like vibration, and it's annoying her, and she's not reacting. After a while, after him doing it for a couple times, she just started recording him, and that's where the video came from. So now, I do not advocate for punching the seat of the person in front of you if they recline. Now, I don't know if he politely asked, ma'am, this is making me quite uncomfortable. Would you mind moving your seat forward? I don't know if a conversation took place before he resorted to physical altercation. But I don't know. I don't know the details, but either way, I did learn it was a flight from, I think, New Orleans to Charlotte. So fairly quick flight. And that detail is kind of what's forming my opinion in a lot of ways. I think if you're on a flight that short, I would say 2 hours or under, then I think you should do what you can to avoid reclining your seat. And especially if you're not going to be trying to sleep. If you're going to be awake, watching a movie or doing work or just chilling, don't recline your seat. If you don't absolutely need to. I think it's kind of a dick move, guys. I really do. And I fly enough to have formed an informed opinion about this. Now, if you're on an overnight flight to Europe or some other really long flight, and you're going to be expected to try to get some sleep on that flight, yeah, you can recline your seat. I get it. It's one of those sort of diminishing returns type of things, where if you recline your seat over that long of a period of time, you're actually going to get some kind of tangible benefit out of it. I can argue that point. But again, shorter flight, tiny little cramped airplane, like a 2x2 seater, 3x2 seater, 3x3 seater, where everybody's crammed in there like sardines. Do you really need to recline your seat? And everybody's like, well, the seat reclines, so naturally you should be able to recline as much as you want to. And I'm just like, you know what? My car goes 150 miles per hour, but that doesn't mean I should be driving 150 miles an hour, does it? That's kind of a weird argument to make. Just because something's capable of doing something, you should do it. I don't know about that. But yeah, it's just funny seeing all the arguments. And again, I can see both sides. That's perfectly valid, but I find myself in life in general just trying not to be a nuisance to anybody. I don't want to be the source of somebody's discomfort. I don't want to be the source of someone's annoyance. And if somebody's sitting in front of me and they recline their seat, I gotta admit, I get a little bit annoyed. I'm like, really? Really? We're going to be on here for maybe an hour and a half and you can't just, stay upright? And you get one of those neck pillows and you just kind of lean back and you're kind of held in place. You can fall asleep like that. If you're tired enough, you can fall asleep like that. You don't have to be reclined 5 inches to fall asleep. You don't have to do that. So, and again, too, I think of it like a ratio thing. Like the comfort you gain by reclining 5 inches is not greater than the discomfort of the person behind you by losing that space, because that space in front of you is precious. That's your sort of space to exist and do your thing and, have your snack and drink your drink and read your magazine or watch your video, whatever you're doing, So taking that space away from somebody is kind of more impactful than gaining the little bit of space behind you where you're not doing anything other than reclining a slight little bit for a slight bit of added comfort. So that's just kind of how I see it, I guess. Yeah. And honestly, I'm a big guy, so by the time I get the tray table down, it's crammed up against my stomach already. So then when somebody reclines, it's just like mashing it into me. And sometimes I can see somebody trying to recline, but my tray table and the fact that my physical presence is there, keeping it from moving, kind of keeps them from reclining. I'm like, sorry, my tray table's down. Oh, what can I do? So yeah. Luckily, my girth tends to extend frontwards and backwards, not so much side to side, so I can kind of get away with it. I'm not big enough to where I have to buy 2 seats or anything. But yeah, it is pretty sad when a couple of guys my size end up in the same row. We're just kind of mashing some poor soul, but it is what it is. We're all in the same shit show together on a stupid metal tube in the sky, so let's get through it together. Okay, just some thoughts. What do you think? Comments, let me know. You travel by air a lot. Do you agree with me? Do you vehemently disagree with me? I'd love to hear your thoughts, because again, on this debate, I can perfectly see both sides. So it's a sort of an interesting dichotomy and thought exercise. But I'm going to finish my pipe here and enjoy this lovely but cold afternoon. You guys take care.